Right. It's just that I turn the camera on and then I pick my tea up. Anyway, I just wanted to finish off charisma. I don't think we know anybody really that's charismatic. What did I want to say? I think from my point of view, there are a couple of things. One is it's the charisma of the person. Now, what might that mean? The best I've come up with is kind of, although you know the content is a bit crap, you'll watch a bit more because you like watching the presentation of the person. Now, for charismatic, I'm sure that this should not include sexual desire, as in you're just watching because you like the look of her or him. It's got to be something more. Somebody said something interesting. I don't think we found anybody. I mean, we had that Russell Brand, or is it Russell Brand, or is he the other one? Oh, no, it's in an email. I don't know. That fellow with the beard, anyway, in Britain that got off drugs and talks about politics sometimes. I just don't like the look of him. He just looks dirty. Some other people. Comedian, that's an interesting thing because I think we must understand via the comedian, like, what was her name? Ruby Wax. Being a comedian is meant to be charismatic, isn't it, really? But it's obviously learnt charisma in order to do your show. That's what you learn kind of at, not drama school, but at comedian school. It's so much of the comedic effect is in the presentation. And I think what I'm saying is that a lot of it, like I said with Churchill, where it was, he learnt to do what he did. What I think I would be looking for real charisma would be someone who is kind of doing it naturally. I know there's really no such thing as naturally, but you can imagine that they have not worked on their delivery. They just do it naturally. And it's nothing to do with their physical appearance. It's just that you like something about them that you just seem that you have to watch. I mean, yesterday I was watching an economics panel and there was this girl called Anastasia something or other. I think she was real Russian as opposed to one of these, just call your daughter Anastasia. And she had it because she had good delivery. She had ginger hair, and I don't really like girls with ginger hair. But she was something else, because I find intelligence in women, very attractive. I mean, there are some on the internet doing, what would not classically be called dodgy looking birds, like, not exactly beautiful. But if they're pumping out really intelligent stuff, I'm well attracted. So on charisma, I think it has to be something that you're just naturally charismatic. And I would think it has to be a bit smiley, don't you think? Although this morning Hitler was mentioned, and I don't think he was that smiley. So it's a bit of a funny thing. I think I've accidentally come across charisma which may be one of these things that kind of applied in the old days but doesn't really apply anymore for some reason. Could be because, all right, you're not 1,000 people, but I don't think you've come up with anybody. I mean, somebody's come up with Joel Osteen, I've never heard of. Okay, Charles Manson. But then I rather know, because I read the book from the lawyer that got him, I rather know a bit more than most people about Charles Manson. And Adolf Hitler. Lady Gaga is charismatic. See, I don't know her. I know who she is. I know that she's a singist, but I've seen photos of her, never seen her do anything else. Like this Jordan Peterson, is he charismatic? Surely not. I mean, if a group of people said, "Oh yes, he really is," I go, "Okay, right. Well, he is then." Because as Ricardo says, maybe that's all it is. It's all it takes to be charismatic is a number of people think you're charismatic, and then you've got it. But don't you think it's interesting in this age that we live in, which is so in your face, that nobody has really said, well, obviously there's obviously, and put out up a bit of an obviously, and then people kind of would go either yes, or yeah, obviously yes. But even in this age of presentation, nothing jumps to mind. Or is it because the bar has been raised so much by, I'm sure these TED Talks come under this category somehow, and in a way maybe pervert it, because the presenters of these TED Talks, to me, are contrived charismatics. They can put on their little charismatic show for 10 minutes. And I kind of think I'm a bit superior, that I can see through it. And after the 10 minutes, they just go backstage and be boring. Martin said something that I thought was worth referring to. I was referring to people. No, it wasn't that. No, I'm sure Martin said something. I was referring to people who want to become enlightened and seek a teacher. Oh, well, that's different, isn't it? Because that often comes under enigmatic as opposed to charismatic. Enigmatic's more mysterious. Charismatic's more in your face. But if you want to look at it more broadly, I think that once you've accepted that you are an introvert, misfit, stroke nutter, then you're not jealous anymore, and there's no problem as long as you can make money somehow. Okay, it was that, as long as you can make money somehow. Yeah, and it takes me... This was meant to be on charisma, but I'm not to 10 minutes yet, so I can go on a little. Once you've accepted you're an introvert, misfit, or nutter, that's my spelling of nutter, N-U-T-T-A. Most people would spell it E-R, or not spell it at all, and not say it at all. Then you're not jealous anymore, and there's no problem. And there's something I should be able to say about that, but it just doesn't snap straight to mind. But it's to do with accepting, as Martin says, accepting yourself, which is what we might come on to, loving yourself for what you actually are. And then you're not jealous anymore. You're not a lot of things anymore, because you accept what you are. And that's going to be crucial to us if I ever get there in the number series, because as long as you accept what you are, even if you're wrong, you stop looking for it isn't quite answers out there, but you stop looking out there for, I don't know, something. I'll have to think about it before I can present it better. But you're more comfortable in your own skin would be a kind of expression that I'm sure people would use. You're not jealous anymore, and that's an important way of saying it. It's just an example, but you're not jealous of other people because you know who you are. You know what you are. You accept that you are what you are. You're not looking to go out and grasp other from outside. You just are what you are, and you're comfortable with what you are. The trouble comes in, as he puts in brackets at the end, as long as you can make money somehow, which unfortunately it's just a fact of life that we have to do in this age, because often this being comfortable with who you are and being comfortable involves introvert misfit nutter. The introvert part, which is quite introverted, which is the opposite of normally what you have to be for going out and earning money somehow. You're often not paid to be introverted. You're paid to go out there and be extroverted quite often. So you can in your life find contentment, peace and serenity in yourself, but it's at the cost of interactions with other people which are necessary to make money in the world. And now I've strayed up to 12 minutes, but I think that ending was worthwhile because it's a real conundrum for a lot of people. Because she came on my YouTube list last night, I watched a bit of a Lisa video, and then from the Lisa video, other types of people like Lisa who kind of are the enigmatic ones that talk bollocks in a very attractive way. From what I would say, probably to fit them into a category, they're introvert misfit nutters that have got to a system of being content with themselves, but have to then go out and sell the bollocks that has made them content with themselves to other people. And you get these Thich Nhat Hanh was mentioned as one of these. But as an enigmatic and not a charismatic. These Osho types, if you like, they are genuinely and absolutely comfortable with themselves. They have achieved what an awful lot of people want out of life, to be actually comfortable with themselves. Let's say, but have to overlay that with a whole load of bollocks of selling it to other people, which is not really gelling, and it's not conducive really to being comfortable with you in yourself when you're selling something to somebody else. You first have to convince yourself that what you've got can be sold to other people. And it really, let's just say, often can't be sold to other people. I can't convince you, another Lisa mystic type enigmatics can't project to other people what they feel inside. They feel inside a contentment with themselves in the world. But that generally is only because they don't work as a supermarket checkout girl. If they did, they probably would not be as content with themselves. Okay, so I had to run up to enough and should make it one video today instead of two. that's what it was. Bye.